5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go 30, half right 3.
I'm Rhianon Gelsomino and I'm a professional co-driver.
Max right 5.
I co-drive in the sport of rally. Rally is a sport where we race through stages in forests, broken into say 10 stages per rally. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and you flat out through the stage. You get to the end of the stage and you transit to the next stage. So racing through forests with cliffs and things like that. I'm calling the pace notes to the driver.
Over max crest 80.
They're listening to the notes and driving as fast as they can through the forest. I have to have the utmost concentration I can have, because if my timing is too slow or too fast with calling the pace notes, my driver obviously can't drive as fast as they need to in the stage.
Oh, sorry.
There's lots of time we're nearly crashing into trees and things like that. So my job, my timing, my cadence is all about calm in the car, keeping the driver on track and making sure that we can go as fast as we can, because I've called the notes in a manner that the driver can drive flat out. I did Scottish Rally Championship, I did British Rally Championship, New Zealand, American, all over the place. 2020, for example, just to give you an idea, I worked with 7 different drivers. And that's a really odd thing to do. You're getting in a car with someone you don't really know and risking your life racing through a forest.
Tightens 3 minus.
In 2020, an opportunity came up to race with Travis Pastrana. When that opportunity came, Travis and I got in the car together, and the first ever race we did together, we won. Now I've been lucky enough that I've worked really hard and had great results all over the world that I now work full-time for Travis Pastrana and Subaru Motorsport in USA. 10, 4 right, don't. Into, 5 left.
Can you say that one more time?
Crest, caution, 10, 4 right, don't. Do you like tightens a little or tightens a bit or a little? Yep, okay, tightens a little. 4 plus left short in over crest.
That sounds better.
I actually grew up in Australia. I was born into a motorsport family. We did autocross, which is like a 1.5 mile stage. I had a little Datsun 1600 and I was a driver. And then we all progressed to rally, my 2 brothers and I, following Dad's footsteps. I started co-driving when I was 24 years old. As soon as I started doing it, my passion was for rally, and I took up the sport as much as I could and raced all over the world. My baby brother, Brennan, he was only 17 at the time. When he turned 18, Dad said we could start racing together. Like 3 weeks later, we did our first ever race. And from there, we took progressive steps to get to where we got. Racing first in Australia, then we went and raced in New Zealand, and we were winning rallies. So we were like the talked about thing, you know what I mean? Like, here's this brother and sister from this small country town in Australia, and no one even knew who we were, getting to race in like Portugal and Greece and Finland and Spain and the UK and all these incredible places where we never even dreamt of going, came about purely because we were clever enough to say, hey, we're good at this. Let's look at the right steps to progress to where we need to be and find sponsorship along the way. For many years, my brother was the #1 seated driver in Australia. In 2009, my brother and I were racing in the Australian Rally Championship. The opportunity came up to do a factory car sponsored by a rally school in Australia. And that rally school said to my brother and I, we'd like you to do this race. In rally, obviously, we have a lot of safety things in the car. One of the things that was really important to my brother and I was that we put our seats in the car that had like wings on the side, or halos, you say, so that if you have an accident and a side impact, you don't injure your neck, hopefully. We can't fit his halo seat in the car. So we go off to the race and I've got my normal seat. He's got a seat that's got like open halos, not the closed ones. We do the recce as per normal. Recce, for people who don't know, recce is like when we write the pace notes for the stages. And the driver tells me what he wants written down about each corner, then the distance and crests, and I write it down. And then we do a second pass and I call it back and he checks it. Unfortunately, on this recce, we ran out of time. The last stage that we were doing recce in, it was dark. We were pretty new in our career still. We only started in 2005, this is 2009. We're still learning things. We don't really realize that wrecking in the dark is very dangerous. So we do it and we get our notes and we check everything and everything's fine. We go and we start the race and everything's going really well. We're having a great event. and we get to the final stage of the race, and this is the stage that we recce'd in the dark. A few things happened in the stage. The exhaust fell off, so the car was really loud. They say we were doing 120 miles per hour, we were going fast. It's a narrow section of stage. There's trees all down the side of it. There's no room for error. We hit this jump, huge jump. And on recce, I guess we knew it was going to be a jump, but I don't think we realized how big a jump it was going to be. We obviously take off, and people say that we were probably overhead height when we jumped. When we've landed in where there's trees and stumps and all sorts of things. Unfortunately, we've had a serious crash into the trees. The whole front of the car has all come in, and my legs have no room to go anywhere.
Quick, get the phone.
My seat has been pushed up and my legs have broken across both femurs in 2 spots and folded under the seat. With double break in your femurs, you're bleeding internally. My left foot has been hanging off where it's got cut. My left heel got broke. Everything is just crushed around me. My brother, if he had the halo seat, he wouldn't have got the injuries he got, which he fractured his vertebrae in his neck, 3 of them. For him, I felt bad that we couldn't get that seat in because we knew how important it was in protecting us in the car and saving us. My brother was 30 minutes before they got him out of the car and untrapped. 30 minutes is quite a long time. And for me, it was even worse. They got a helicopter there, but they couldn't get me out of the car. They had to cut roll cages, they needed to do all these things. So I'm trapped in this car for 2.5 hours. Rally is different like that. In a normal circuit, they're going to be on that track straight away. They're going to have the jaws of life or whatever they need to be getting that co-driver or driver or whoever it is out of that car. For me, it was 2.5 hours.
All right, so coming on the left.
Are we in it now?
Right, no.
Oh yeah, hook right 3 opens, are we?
Yep.
Hook tightens long. Caution hug, left 2 minus long hole.
It's too many words, too wordy.
What about caution hole, left 2 minus long, and we get rid of hug?
Yep, sounds good.
We're just here, Travis and I have had a full day of recce. We left at 6 a.m. this morning and it's now 9 o'clock. So we're here checking all our recce videos from today, reviewing them, making changes, calling them back at double speed so Travis can process the notes and check that everything's right for tomorrow's stages.
So the co-driver pretty much does everything. At the end of the day, there's a trust in the car. Everyone says, I couldn't imagine being a co-driver. And I couldn't, because quite frankly, the amount of time and homework and how precise everything that Rhi does has to be. There can't be any mistakes. If Rhi makes a mistake, we go off. From her experience with her brother, from her experience doing the World Rally Championship, from her experience with all the different drivers she's had, she's made me a better driver through understanding what I need to do to go faster on these stages. So it's been an amazing experience the last 2 years.
My first memory is waking up in hospital. There's people in this hospital room where I'm thinking, am I dead and gone somewhere? I'm just looking, thinking, what has happened? Both of my legs are plastered and I've got tubes everywhere. I've got a breathing thing on and I can't really work out what's happened other than I know it has to be a racing crash because that's what I last remember doing. 3 hours later, they work out I have compartment syndrome in my lower right leg and I'm possibly going to lose that lower right leg. 8 days later, it got better and they said, you'll never do this again and never do all those things that, are scary in hospital. The interesting thing for me was I'm laying in the hospital bed and my mind's processing all these things and am I going to be able to walk and how long will I be in a wheelchair? And then I say to my dad, Dad, how am I meant to race in Malaysia on Friday? And Dad's like, yeah, you're not racing in Malaysia on Friday. This is Monday, I've woken up and I think I'm supposed to be on a plane to Malaysia on Friday. The next day I wake up in the morning and here's my dad standing there with a brand new carbon fiber helmet. And I'm just like, wow. And Dad was like, we'll get her a carbon fiber helmet and this will be a great motivation that, hey, when you start racing again, you're gonna have this there. So I don't think at the time I realized how bad I was. My mind was, it's Monday, I need to be on a plane Friday. Like, just let's get on this plane. And if you wake up from an accident like that and the first thing you say is, how do I get to Malaysia in 4 days? It's what you need to do. It was what my life needed to be about. So we'll just see how we go. You know, we're here to win, but at the end of the day, like you said, there's really good competition and we'll all be pushing, so we'll see what happens. I had to learn to walk again. I'd been in hospital and in a wheelchair for like 12 weeks. I was up on crutches and slowly getting back to school and teaching. I loved teaching. I actually won Teacher of the Year for my state in 2005 because I honestly was very passionate about it. My mind started to think about, when I'm recovered from this, what do I do? So I just decided at that point in time that I'm going to quit teaching and take up racing full time because my heart and passion was there. I want to be the best I can be and possibly one day the best in the world. The only thing I remember is the pain after it. And the pain after it, I guess it's a bit like when a woman has a baby. You forget it pretty quick, you know what I mean? And you move on to whatever's next. After 6 months, it was February the following year, there was a tarmac rally and my brother and I decided to enter it. So it was my first race back. I was still very wobbly, walking like a duck, everyone says. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the nerves, I felt like I was gonna be sick. I didn't think I could do this anymore. It was a really strange feeling. 2, 1, go. 30. As soon as I said 1 and go, and I was calling those pace notes, I completely forgot about everything that ever happened to me. And we finished that stage. The adrenaline's pumping. I could feel it in my hands. I could feel my heart. And I was just like, this is what I want to do. And I'm back doing it. And my brother's like, is everything okay? And my brother and I finished that rally in second place. And it was an incredible feeling because the passion was still there. The motivation was still there. I didn't get scared. And I was back doing what I loved. So we're here at the Olympus Rally. It's the 3rd round of the American Rally Championship. Travis and I have done 8 stages today. We're in 3rd position. Unfortunately, the last 2 stages we lost in time with a couple of issues. On the podium going in tomorrow, but hopefully we'll climb back up the ladder. Yeah, we'll see what we can do tomorrow. I was racing with an American driver, his name was Nick Roberts. I did the full championship with him in production class in 2014 and 15. We did really well, we got lots of overall podiums, we're a great team together and things like that. But sometimes in racing, you don't have to make a mistake where you've crashed or the co-driver's called a note wrong. We can have a mechanical failure. The mechanics do the best job they can, but it can still fail. Nick and I had actually come through a chicane, and the chicane might be like hay bales set up or something, and you have to like pendulum through it and then you're on a straight. It's just to slow down some sections of the stage. When he downshifted, he like downshifted 5th to 2nd or something, and it like really like made a funny noise. We come out of the chicane and then the car's making this terrible noise. I thought, oh, we've just broken something. Never did I think we'd broken something that could lead to this fire that was about to happen. I had a lot more experience than Nick, and I'm saying, yep, we're fine, keep going. But little did I know the prop shaft that runs straight down the middle of the car was like broken and making this awful noise and swinging around. And so we're on a straight, and then all of a sudden the prop shaft punctures the fuel tank. I never thought that a car would just go woof. Like, I thought that fire would be the fire starts somewhere in the car and then you're like, oh my gosh, we've got a fire, we need to stop and pull over. In this case, it was just like bang, fire, we need to get out immediately. Nick pulls over straight away, opens his door, and when he opens his door, the oxygen must come in on the fire, I guess, and it engulfs me. I've just got flames and fire everywhere around me, and I open my door, but when I open my door, the flames are even worse. So I was engulfed in flames. Nick's already out of the car, he's ran, the car's completely on fire. I'm trapped in this car and I can't get out. How long can I survive this? I remembered every single part about that fire. I remember thinking I was going to burn to death. And the best thing I could do was to get out his side. I somehow climbed out that driver's side and got myself to safety. If I was a big person, like some people in racing are 6'3", 6'4", I couldn't have done that. In my mind, it was so crazy. It's like, stop, drop and roll, stop, drop and roll. Your face is burnt, your hands are burnt. We need water, we need water. And I was nearly panicked about it. Blisters started to form. I could feel on my face that my eyebrows were all gone, my eyelashes were all gone, and I'm feeling this. I'd done a lot of first aid training, and I said to my driver, I'm really badly burnt. With burns, you can't really tell sometimes. And he's like, no, you look fine. And I'm like, no, I can tell I'm burnt. And in rally, how it works is the first car that gets to you, there to stay with you and assist you. And the second car goes to like a radio control to get help. The next car that gets to us, I said to him, I need to get in with you now, and we need to get me to water. He had a big bottle of water. I'm in the race car with him. We've left his co-driver at our burning car, and I'm just tipping water over my face. I'm tipping it all over my hands until we get to the radio control where an ambulance is and they can actually medically help me and get me to hospital. When you're a PE teacher, you do a lot of first aid, and my mind just kept telling me that whatever you do, you just need to keep tipping water on yourself.
All right, he's gonna be pulling it, so get back.
When we got to hospital, they're like, your burns are better because you did what you did. I was a bit nervous because I broke protocol by going as the first car, but it was one of those things where that was the best thing for me in that situation. It was a really different situation for me because I was on my own. In the broken leg situation, I had family at the race. Whereas in America, my family couldn't just jump on a plane and be with me in an hour. It was pretty tough because I could remember everything that had happened. When I broke my legs, I couldn't remember anything. It was a couple of weeks after the fire. I'd turn on our hot plate to boil water in the saucepan and flames had come up. I'm like thinking of fire and am I going to be burnt? When I was actually ever around a campfire or something like that, my mind would think back to what had happened in thinking I was going to burn. The weird part about it was this was a minor thing that happened to me compared to what happened when I broke my legs. But because I remember it all, it's just mentally really tough to get past that. But also I'm getting in a car 4 weeks later. There wasn't a big gap. And my team had to rebuild a new car. There was a lot going on, so you kept busy trying to get back. It was a 4-week recovery back, wearing co-driver gloves, had scabs on my hands, had some bandages on them, I'll be okay. And you just want to get back to your normal life. This sport that's my passion and my love nearly takes my life twice. The next race I do, in all honesty, I could die. It's a dangerous sport.
Oh no! Oh no!
We're getting going up. Oh, my bad.
Bummer.
Oh, it sucks. All right, jump out. We gotta get out.
Yep.
We're in a bad spot.
You're okay, don't fall on your head.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The biggest thing was doing the next race after. Doing the race and everything was okay. We actually won our class and we were overall on the podium as well. Once I got through that first rally, the fire thing seemed to disappear from my fears. I got in that car and I could see that I'll be okay. If you have fear in your life and you're too scared to go chase those goals and those dreams, you're always going to hold yourself back.
Were there any close calls this weekend? 100%. Stage 7 yesterday, if you read some comments from Travis, it said scariest stage of his life. We nearly died twice.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
You're right.
Wow.
Luckily, we didn't go off. Unfortunately, some other guys did at the top. We stayed on the road and we got a great result, and we've got to be happy about that.
I'm still here. Last year, I won the American Rally Championship with Travis Pastrana. I achieved a lifelong goal of winning a national championship. I'm in the best place I could ever be in my life. I'm married to the man of my dreams, who is also a professional co-driver, who I race at races. My family in Australia is so supportive. My brother's racing for Hyundai in Australia, and my other brother just did a tarmac rally on the weekend. You think back about all those things you went through, but those things make you stronger. And those things made me the person I am today. I work harder than anyone will ever work to win. And I want to win every race I do, because not only was I competitive before my 5 or broken legs, when I come out of it, you then say to yourself, for me personally, let's push the limit. I'm 41 years old now and it's my everything. If I then just quit and gave it all up after everything I've worked so hard for, I feel like I'm giving up on life. We're all trying to live our dreams as much as we can, and I just think, just give yourself every opportunity in life to be the person you want to be, and don't give yourself excuses. Excuses are the only things that will hold you back.
Son, I love thrills like a middle school crush. If I can't die, there ain't no adrenaline rush. Watch me fly by through the sky on my dirt bike, reppin' 199, cause I'm coming in clutch. Seem like 99, I've been here, couple big nuts. Seem like since then, every year, couple big cups, couple big breaks, couple falls, couple big